Hello, and welcome back to another Talk Dragon Tuesday with RPW. So today we have a lot to talk about, including the newest feature in the game called the Wildfire Attack. And then, of course, I'm also going to be having another weekly giveaway this week, so be sure to stick around so you know how you can sign up for a $20 in-game pack. Now, this week they are returning the Kingdom Wars for another chance at this, but there are going to be some changes, so you might want to stick around so you know what to expect when they bring back the Kingdom Wars tomorrow. Now, one of the new features they're bringing in during this event is the new Wildfire Attack. Now, this is not going to be strictly on the Kingdom Wars, unlike the meter, which was strictly during the of the hill. However, it is going to be something that will be on all PvPs. Now let's go over the difference between the meter versus the wildfire. By first talking about the meter, if you don't know what the meter was or you need a refresher, this was every time you made an attack, it would build, and build up, and then you would get bonus points, and then it would run back out. Now with the wildfire attack, every time you do an attack, those flames you get in that attack will actually be put into a jar in a sense, and this jar, once it's filled up to 80 flames, you will get to do a wildfire attack. Now, you can earn up to 5 flames per attack, which means that if you do 16 basic attacks for 64 energies, you will earn a wildfire attack. On the contrary, 16 super attacks at 320 energies would give you that same wildfire. Now, flames are not multiplied for super or mega attacks. Once you've reached your 80 flames, you're going to have a wildfire attack available to you. So if you'll see here, you have to earn 80 to activate, but then once you've earned that 80, you'll be able to click that, and it will not collect beyond that 80 flames. So make sure you use it before you do any other. Once you have, it will reset to 0, and it will reset to 0 after each PvP. So any of the flames that you earn during this PvP will not be forwarded into the next PvP. So with that being said, with those few things that I just mentioned, there are a lot of cool things about this feature. This is really going to reward those hardworking players, not so much those, pay to play players, because this is really only going to be earned through attacking and attacking and attacking. So they've really gone out and figured out a way to, give an amazing bonus feature to those that are willing to work hard. Now, there is a little bit of a trick to this. If you decide to stack inner fires and you end up using 3 dragons, then you're not going to get the full amount of flames. So you'll end up, in essence, having to do more attacks by stacking your inner fires. But this really will be a very cool way, and I think it could be a huge game changer. Later this week, I will be doing a video that's more extensive on wildfire attacks, including a review on how I think the feature is doing. But let's go over the Kingdom Wars changes that are coming up in this event. Now, the first change that's coming in is there will be an increase on the reward points. So if you remember, there was a lot of people that were complaining in the forums and stuff and explaining that there wasn't enough points being given out per attack, which means they do listen. I think this is perfect proof that they do listen into what we have to say and try to fix those. Well, when it comes to the other issue that we had, which was the amount of HP needed per territory, they have decreased this. So now you're going to need less HP for your neutral, your minor, and your major monuments. So be sure to notice that there will be less HP that your team is going to have to take in order to gain a piece of territory. And this could be a huge game changer, which is another reason why I'm glad they're bringing it back immediately so that we can kind of test this out and play with it. As for the other changes, one of the big changes is going to be the icon color. So there was a lot of players, and I mentioned this in one of my videos, where this icon being red was so similar to, the other attacks. So the attackable territory was red with, a white dot, and this was red with a skull. And a lot of players were actually confusing the two, and they were thinking that anything that was red, they had to go attack. So they've put out a new color scheme to this, so be sure to update your team. Okay, so the other changes in this event will be that they have modified the level 250 plus bases to represent a true base in the PvP so that there is a curve present. And then, of course, this was already a feature, but they wanted to make it more clear that you could highlight enemies' territories through the leaderboard itself. So those are two of the other changes that they put in this event. I'm pretty excited to be able to actually get in there and test this out and see how these changes have helped personally. Now, I think they will help a lot, and I think they will be very welcome changes by most of the community. Now, if there was a better time to go in and collect that bonus rune chest or buy some, this would be the week, because they're bringing in limited time runes for you to be able to gather up these cool runes that are specifically for a type of dragon. For example, it'll boost the attack damage for a hunter, one for a warrior, and one for a sorcerer. And these are some beautiful runes that you're going to be able to, utilize on your dragon. So be sure to check that out. Now, the next thing on our list is I have a special guest today whose name is Ghost Rider 419. Now, I found Ghost Rider 419 through other chat forums or chat rooms within line, and he and I have created this cool little friendship. And I asked him, after seeing some of his videos on YouTube and all the work that he does for the community in the background, to come on and do an interview with me. So welcome, Ghost Rider. I'm glad to have you on the show.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay, how long have you been playing War Dragons, and what got you started?
I've been playing the game for about two and a half years. I honestly can't remember how I first started, whether it was an ad on Facebook that just caught my eye, or I was messing around in the App Store. Probably the last one knowing me.
Now, what is your favorite thing about War Dragons, and why?
I came for the dragons, and I stayed for the people. When you get a really good group of people together, it's really awesome the things that you're able to get done. A huge part of the game is the social aspect, and it's cool to get to know people from all over the world, from all walks of life. I've played with some of the people on the team I'm on now for 2 years. One of them we've been playing together almost since day one. It becomes like a second family that's your own special brand of crazy, so that and setting stuff on fire was pretty cool.
When you first started playing, what was your biggest hurdle, and how did you overcome it?
When I first started out, I made a ton of stupid but common mistakes. I joined an inactive team and did not understand that it was inactive and going nowhere. Someone in the league scooped me up and saved me, and he had his work cut out for him. I didn't even understand that you were supposed to get 5 flames in war. That's how bad it was. So many ballistas. I used the Pokemon breeding chart of gotta hatch 'em all, you name it. This was not helped by the fact that I spent my entire first year completely free to play. Once I landed on a team that was knowledgeable, it was like a slap of realization across the face. If I wanted to be successful and do well, I needed to do X, Y, Z. I wanted to have the knowledge without having a stick up my butt like I'd seen some people who really knew their stuff but were just obnoxious about it. So I started researching, I started asking questions, networking and stuff. And after a lot of complaining and teasing by my team, I finally got an elite account.
Now, if you would be able to give a tip out there to any new player that's just starting out, what would that be?
Tip for any new player would be to not be afraid to ask questions. It's actually something I still struggle with. I didn't want to be the teammate that had to be walked through everything and babysat, but it will save you a ton. One of the best things about War Dragons is the community. A lot of times there are people in the league who aren't necessarily on your team that are still willing to help out. If you don't know it, there is someone out there who does. when I led a team, I had a huge amount of respect for players who were not afraid to speak up if they had any questions. 9 times out of 10, people jump to share the information they have. All you have to do is ask.
Now that is an awesome tip. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and bombard you with a million questions. So here is my last question, which is, what is it that you do in the War Dragons community, and why did you start helping others in the community?
A little over a year ago, we had a Fortify event coming up. I very sarcastically made a lyric video of a parody to Do You Want to Build a Snowman called Do You Want to Build a Strong Base? My leader at the time made another video that was totally serious so people didn't get confused by mine. After watching him make videos, I thought to myself, hey, I can do that. So I started making tutorials and posting them to YouTube. The problem was that they were like 10 minutes long and involved a lot of editing because I don't speak very well, in case you can't tell. And I didn't want to sound like a robot with a script. So there were lots of ums and awkward silences. A teammate dared me to make a rap for the King of the Hill event, and it was challenge accepted. So I made a rap tutorial. For whatever reason, people seem to like it, and ever since then I've been rapping. It's great because it gives me a script so I don't blather on, and I have a lot of fun with it. In a bit, I'm going to be putting together an Atlas Basics rap. I've done events, intro to dragons, things like that. I do take requests, so if anyone has an idea for a tutorial, just shoot it my way. I've got a tendency to hang out online too much. I also created a website about, I think a year ago. It was originally team-oriented, but since it's just become my own. I also started making charts. I've got a running XP-based chart that I update every couple of weeks. I made a rune organizer so it was easier to visualize what runes you have available. I'm updating that to include dragon runes soon. I made an egg token calculator that calculates how many egg tokens you need to get per day to get your breeding event goal. That's another one that's getting some updates soon. So basically, I'm a nerd website chart rap maker.
Now, I haven't heard this parody, but you've got me super interested. Well, thank you for being on our show today. And guys, if you want to check out Ghostwriter419, you can search his username right here in YouTube, but I will share a link in the video description below. Well, I want to thank you, Ghostwriter, for your time today.
Thanks again for having me here. It's been an honor.
Oh, I appreciate that. So hopefully we can get a few others on this show soon. I really love having the guests in this particular series. Okay, so let's go over how you can win this week's giveaway. Now, in honor of the new Wildfire Attack, I went out and got a bunch of atomic fireballs and threw them into this ball jar. What you need to do is guess how many you think are in here. If you think there's 3, then you would put your in-game name 3. If you think there's 300, you put your in-game name and 100. So all you're going to do is put that in there, and then the players that are the closest, let's say there's 10 players that are 5 away from the correct number, would be entered in for a chance to win this prize. However, if there's somebody that gets it to the exact amount, then they would be automatically put in for the win. So exact numbers, and let's say you're the only one that gets the exact number, then you would automatically win, no drawing needed. And just so you know, you don't have to choose a different number than another player. So if you decide that, let's say you want the number 500, but somebody else has already used that, that's fine. You can still put that number, and then you both would be entered for a chance, and then we would just do a drawing if both your numbers were correct. Now, I will be announcing the winner, just like the last time, in a future video this week, so be sure to keep checking back so you know if you won. Now, I also want to remind everyone that these prizes are not given out by me personally. but by War Dragons, and I want to thank them for sponsoring today's video with this. So if you do win, you will be notified via message by me. And remember that all prizes are not distributed until the weekend. So you won't actually see this prize until later this weekend. Now hurry up, get in there and get your entry put in, because I will be closing down this contest after 48 hours, which means 2 days exactly, 8 a.m., 2 days from now, you will see this actually shut down. There will be no prizes allowed to be put out. So be sure to check in on that. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope that this has been a very useful video for you. Now, before you leave, don't forget to leave my video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell so you get notifications. All right, happy hunting.